going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about new updates in Cold War Zombies, some new Easter eggs, and a discussion about the future of the mode. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, and be sure to check out our new partner Manscaped, who recently released a variety of products with the Performance Package 4.0. Your friends down there will be taken care of like never before with the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Crop Preserver deodorant, and the Crop Reviver toner. Also included is the Weed Whacker trimmer for our nose and ears, a magic mat, and some more free gifts like the Manscaped boxers and the luxury travel bag. Check out their link down below in the description and use code TWITCH20 to save 20% off your order. Very generous gift from Manscaped themselves. Now, yesterday I posted a massive haunting event guide for Cold War multiplayer and Warzone, going through every single challenge, the rewards, and some other surprises you guys may have missed with the event itself. The video is linked down below, and I also went over something that is very peculiar, some potential evidence of a new DLC update coming to Cold War on October 28th. I'll be going more in depth with that in a separate video, probably to release on Monday, but I touched on it a little bit with a couple of minor details that you don't want to miss out on. Definitely check that video out if you haven't already. But tomorrow is going to be the official release of the Ghost of War bundle for either 2400 COD points or free if you pre-order Call of Duty Vanguard. It's a decent looking bundle, but the skin itself definitely sells the whole thing. I mean, it's an ultra reactive animated skin, definitely an incredible one. And let me know in the comments if you pre-ordered Vanguard just yet. Did the Treyarch Zombies marketing convince you to pick up a copy of the game, or are you kind of like, yeah, I'll wait for some reviews, I'll wait for a friend to tell me about it. Let me know how you're feeling about Vanguard thus far. But also hope you guys are enjoying my brand new Zombies intro that I'll of course be using for specific Zombies videos here on the channel. And it was time for a change, right? Because we have Vanguard going in a bit of a different direction with the mode, dealing with this occult, demonic type energy, which is a bit different from the grounded Cold War themed story we had here in this game's iteration of Zombies. With Cold War Zombies, it was obviously dealing with the theme of the Cold War itself, the battle between the East and the West, the race for power, the experiments, the repercussions of those experiments, whereas Vanguard is going to focus more on world building, the deep lore, the gods that were in charge before the Forsaken arrived, and all that good stuff, which is on a bit of a different scale from Cold War, but may set a precedent for what story Treyarch ends up telling in COD 2023. We'll get to that more in a little bit, but first and definitely foremost, with the haunting event itself, this is honestly a very surprising event for me, at least for Zombies, right? Because we all expected quite a bit for multiplayer in Warzone, but for Zombies, they really went all out, knocked it out of the park, and went above and beyond what I expected to see for a Halloween-themed Zombies update. And call me a shill all you guys want. It's totally fine. It's your right to do so, but I seriously don't think we've had an update like this, at least for Zombies, in quite some time on this scale. Pumpkinhead Zombies, which occasionally will drop jack-o'-lanterns, and when you open one of those jack-o'-lanterns, you'll get some high-rarity loot. And this also affects not just round-based, but even Onslaught and Outbreak, which we'll get to later on in the video. So you'll see Pumpkinhead Zombies across any mode of Zombies you end up playing. So you have that already with overpowered loot drops, right? Ray guns, crystal axes, perks, pack-a-punch, I mean, the works. Everything will drop from these jack-o'-lanterns, and they're pretty easy to get, especially in the higher rounds. You'll see specifically here in Forsaken, the spawn room is a lot of fun to stay in when you don't actually activate the teleporter. You can just stick around here as the rounds progress very quickly and take advantage of these jack-o'-lanterns as quick as you can. Now, as you'll see later in the gameplay, you'll also get jack-o'-lantern zombies in the Nocturne Toe Inside Easter eggs. So when you get those headshots on zombies, they have a chance of dropping a jack-o'-lantern, which can give you some bonus loot to help you out in that side quest. You have a limited amount of time to kill all the zombies in Noct, get those headshots, get your heavy salvage, but if you pick up a chalice off the ground or something overpowered from a jack-o'-lantern, it'll help you out quite a bit. So quite literally, the haunting event has broken zombies in the greatest way possible. And of course, this is all going to go away on November the 2nd when the haunting does officially end, but it would be great in a perfect world to see this remain in private matches as an option. I get not keeping it in the forefront over in quick play or in the featured playlist, but at least keeping it in private games would be pretty awesome. I mean, why not, right? Now, it also feels like this is Onslaught containment on round-based maps, or even Onslaught containment in Outbreak, right? Because you're getting so much high-rarity loot so quickly. I mean, it's even beyond Onslaught containment and what that mode offers, but everything moves very, very quickly, as you guys will see. Imagine combining this, which you can, with the Rampage Inducer, or staying in spawn on Forsaken as the rounds progress quickly. You know, combine all this together, and it's a very accelerated experience. No pun intended, because there was a mode called Onslaught Accelerated, and it's just like that. Now, as I went over in my haunting guide yesterday, of course, it's probably more rewarding to do this in multiplayer because there's more RNG involved, and you feel more rewarded when you finally get one. But when you equip a care package kill streak over in Cold War multiplayer, there's a chance that it'll give you a scare package when you call one in. But most of the time, probably won't give you one. But here in Zombies, if you want to do that challenge for the haunting event, then just wait 5 rounds and boom, go find one around the map, open it up, and boom, instantly complete the challenge for the event itself. Now, I was also thinking, right, Jingle Hells as an LTM, if you want to call it that, back from December, was a bit underwhelming because there wasn't much substance to the mode. There was a lack of a mystery box. You saw Santa spawn in at the beginning, and then a lot of our enemy types had Santa hats on. Pretty cool. And there was that naughty or nice system, which was fine, I guess, for a match or two to try out, but the Easter egg was disabled, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So it wasn't really that replayable for an LTM. But what if they reskin Jingle Hells as a mode and just bring in all these Halloween mechanics, but just reskin all of it with Santa hats? That'd be cool if a Santa hat drops and it'll give you high rarity loot like this. So consider this what Jingle Hells should have been, and maybe they'll bring this back in Cold War Zombies over in December, or do something like this for Christmas, but in Vanguard Zombies, which Treyarch is also developing, of course. So I think the success of this mode has definitely set a precedent for how holiday updates should work in future Zombies iterations, and there's even ways to make it better, which I'm sure Treyarch's going to explore in future titles as well. So all in all, this was Treyarch's real first attempt, in my opinion, at a true holiday-themed LTM or holiday-themed update for Zombies, which dramatically impacted how the game plays when it comes to high round strats, when it comes to Easter egg runs. I mean, I believe regular speed runs for quests right now are void, considering this update right now. They're going to wait until this update goes away so that regular speedruns may resume, because right now, I mean, I wonder what the times would be for a main quest completion in Forsaken or some of the other round-based maps. I'd be interested to see how that would work, because right now it is really easy to get everything done. But you guys probably saw the announcement that there is a Perkaholic side Easter egg here in Forsaken, which got posted first by Mr. Dalek JD not too long ago. I believe somebody out there had discovered parts of the quest and then shared it with him. He then got the first video out, and the Perkaholic side quest is very easy to replicate, in all honesty, but I wouldn't say it's exactly solo friendly. I would recommend doing it in co-op, having some friends of yours, hold a zombie while you do the steps, and you can only do this with one player in that match. Now everybody will get the Perkaholic, only the player doing the steps. So it's really easy to replicate, and you can also do all these steps in a single round, which is very convenient. So hop into this store here and throw an explosive exactly here on the ground as I did. It'll let you pick up a VHS tape, pick that up, take it to the TV store, and insert the VHS tape right there as I did. Then it lets you play a game of Samantha Says, just how it worked over on Moon. There'll be color-coordinated TVs in the store itself, one that's blue, one that's green, one that's red, and one that's orange. If you guys don't have a good memory, feel free to pull up a picture right next to where your monitor is, or pull it up on your phone, your iPad, whatever the case is, of exactly which TVs are where. The color-coordinated TVs will be in the same locations every single game in this store, but the order in which you have to shoot them will be different in every match that you play. So the difference between this game and the one that was on Moon is this. It'll show you a combination of the colors, shoot them in the right order, but when the second game starts, it'll require you to put in the first combination that you just did, followed by the new one as well, so both combinations. Then when you get to the third game, it'll show you a new set and which order to shoot them in, but it'll require you to also shoot, like I said, the first two combinations that you also just had. So all in all, you have to remember every single combination that it shows you and put all of them in correctly. There is no real rush, and if you make a mistake or fail for any reason, you could do this all again in the same round. It doesn't make you pushed around at all, which is very convenient. And if you don't have a good memory, like I said, maybe pull up a pen and paper, pull up a notepad in your phone or iPad, and type in the letters of each color in the order it shows you. So B for blue, G for green, R for red, O for orange. Type that in quickly, as I'll put an image of on screen like how I did. And then once you input all three combinations how I did, it'll let you go up to this TV right here and you can interact with it. Once you do that, it'll actually spawn in a very creepy looking mannequin, which if you get too close to the mannequin, it'll insta-kill you, whether it's you, whether it's your friends in the match. Unfortunately, when I activated the TV, I wasn't aware that my buddy Sean was standing very close to the spawn point of the mannequin, and it insta-killed him. It was hilarious. And what you want to do now is buy the Tombstone soda, whether it's from Wonder Fizz, whether it's from the Perk machine over on Main Street, whatever the case is, buy Tombstone, then go to the accelerator room. What you want to do is then buy a frag grenade or let a zombie down you, and once that zombie downs you right here where I am in this room, you want to go into the shadow mode, the who's who mode of this perk. And once you're in this mode, it'll let you go ahead and shoot the mannequin that is hovering above the accelerator right there. So at this point, I recommend having an LMG or something with a lot of ammo in it so that you can shoot as fast as you possibly can without having to reload too much. And what you want to do is shoot the correct mannequin as he turns into several of them. The correct mannequin has glowing red eyes, which you'll see for a couple of seconds before they go away. So keep focusing on the correct mannequin with glowing red eyes, continuously shoot him. He'll turn back into one, turn into a bunch of them again. Keep shooting that one until he turns into one mannequin and then stays still. Once he does that, revive yourself and you'll now have a full Perkaholic here in Cold War Zombies. Zombies. This saves you an enormous amount of points, right? You know, $35,000+ in a single match. That's a lot of money. And now that we have 10 perks in the game, it's going to cost you quite a bit to buy all of them manually. But now you have them all, so this is what I believe is the world's first Perkaholic side Easter egg in a Treyarch Zombies map. I am aware that completing all the main Easter eggs in Black Ops 3, for example, would give you a Perkaholic. There was no Perkaholic Easter egg in Black Ops 4, even though there was an elixir for it. But now in Cold War, here you have it, how to get all 10 perks in a single match of Forsaken here in round-based. It's awesome, and it's the equivalent of what I consider the Ghost and Skulls Easter egg, right, that we had back in Infinite Warfare. So this is great. I'm glad they experimented with this. I mean, mine as well for DLC 4, the final round-based map coming to this game. It was very fitting and does suit the energy of the map altogether, right? You know, this map really does give off an impression of really arcadey, you know, vibrant, retro type of gameplay. So the fact they're rewarding us so much like this really makes a lot of sense. My question for you guys is, are there more side Easter eggs that have not been discovered here in Forsaken, which may be lurking around, right? Might be something as simple as a manhole that you can throw some equipment into, similar to Modern Toten. Maybe something still lurking around that we just haven't discovered yet. And I'm sure if that goes undiscovered for a number of months, Treyarch will probably tease that, or at least the developer over on Twitter. Keep you guys posted with anything like that. I also wanted to mention, right, the replayability debate I see constantly when it comes to zombies these days, because back then, right, if your favorite map was Kingdom of the Toten or Ascension, there really weren't side Easter eggs back then, if not at all. So my question is, right, does replayability in zombies for you guys stem from a number of side Easter eggs, or just the way that you enjoy a map and its layout? Because I see people constantly saying that, oh, there's no content, right? There's not much going on. And it's like, well, look at zombie maps today, and there's just so much to do in them now, whether it's from an LTM, whether it's from a side Easter egg, whether it's from, you know, an easy to replicate main quest. There's so much to do now, especially Outbreak, with the number of quests that are available now, all the world events, all the myth-busting possibilities that you can do. I mean, it's just so much more to experiment with than we ever had before. So the argument about replayability just, to me, doesn't even sound right to begin with. What are the valid arguments behind that? How is there less to do now than there was back then when games like BO1 and 2 didn't even have side Easter eggs like that? You know, it's all subjective, I fully understand that, but we didn't really start seeing a lot of major side Easter eggs with good rewards until like Mob of the Dead and then Barry, and then at that point forward we started seeing more. But I'll be honest, right, I really haven't been a fan of the side Easter eggs in Cold War Zombies from at least D Machina and Firebase. Modern Toten had some fun ones, don't get me wrong, some rewarding quests which I think helped the game's replayability quite a bit, but then Forsaken really took it to another level, which I'm a huge fan of, and then Outbreak, like I said, has so much to offer now with how much you can experiment with, so I think that's the way to go about it, and it's probably a lack of time, which could explain why there weren't better side quests at launch for Cold War Zombies, but I hope to see a lot more quests like the ones we have in Forsaken when we get the release of Vanguard Zombies. But I did want to quickly mention, right, as I did bring up in a previous Vanguard Zombies video that I made, since it isn't Treyarch's year anyway with Vanguard, it's Sledgehammer's year, but the fact that that's the case, to me, tells us that Treyarch is allowed to experiment more with it because it isn't their game. So the fact that Vanguard Zombies will be more of an Outbreak Onslaught hybrid and may not have round-based at all, I think that's fine to do in a game that they aren't leading. And however that works with Vanguard, if it's successful or not, that will then tell Treyarch what to focus on more in COD 2023. But an experimental type mode like Vanguard Zombies with Duran Fung, that wouldn't have been greenlit if Outbreak wasn't successful, and if anything, if the player counts were neck and neck between Outbreak and round-based, then that kind of tells you where the player count probably ended up at the end of Cold War's life cycle here. Maybe Outbreak overtook round-based to the point where Activision said, alright Treyarch, go full force with this experimental type mode in Vanguard, and then maybe do that again in COD 2023 if that remains sustainable. And that's the whole thing, right? We all love round-based. I'm just okay with them changing the formula a little bit to revolutionize the mode and keep it relevant beyond what it's already established. But they aren't going to ignore or forget about classic players by going through with this. I'm sure there'll be some type of round-based mode or feature in the future. I'm sure round-based maps are even in Vanguard. We don't even know it yet. Maybe they're exclusive to the PlayStation. That remains unclear right now. But I just want to say everybody has to hold their horses, wait for release, and wait to see what Treyarch says about how the post-launch season will work with Call of Duty Vanguard. Now, we also have a really solid update for Hallows Eve Outbreak, and I'm honestly surprised with how in-depth the LTM works. Apparently, the LTM itself is also canon to the story, since recent intel does report that right before the events, or right before the ending of Forsaken DLC 4, there were anomalies quickly closing in these Euro Mountain regions. And as a result of that, there were a lot of enemies surging through the Euro Mountains all at once, as we see here in Hallows Eve. So I think first and foremost, map voting is finally available for Outbreak, which to me is great because there's so many regions now. Why not be able to select where you want to spawn in on first? I mean, we have so many regions like Armada, Collateral, Zoo, I think the best regions of all time that we've had in Outbreak. So it's great that we got map voting introduced with this LTM. Maybe it'll stay permanently in Outbreak altogether. Now I do understand, right? Maybe 10 minutes is a bit too short for this LTM. You only get 10 minutes to survive in a single region. There's 3 anomalies to spawn in the region itself. Unless you're on Armada, as you'll see gameplay of, right? Or Armada's a bit more restrictive. You won't even get the world events either. Unless it's RNG that we just didn't get, you won't get an Orda or an Omega helicopter spawn. The 2 world events that usually we'll get in this LTM. That's it, just 2 of them. But you'll get multiple anomalies you can go up to. Once you activate them, they'll be there for about 2 minutes. It'll give you Pack-a-Punch, your armor bench, the works. So it's a cool working looking mode here, and to me I consider this round-based and Outbreak because with the pacing of this LTM, it feels like you're playing a round-based experience that's constantly shifting, but in these bigger Outbreak regions, right? Every so often, the wave itself will go up a number, and that'll then give you some points, increase the spawns, increase difficulty. It gets that crazy. Now, I would hope that what they could do after the Haunting event ends is just strip away the Halloween elements from this new update we got and just keep this mode in for Outbreak and maybe call it Outbreak round-based or Outbreak blah blah blah. We already have Outbreak Survival with the hardcore food type challenge, which is also fun, but this mode just plays a lot differently than anything we have in Outbreak right now. I think if the player count stays strong enough, similar to what they were for Onslaught Containment a few months ago, then that will determine if a mode like this stays in permanently for the remainder of the game's life cycle, and even beyond that for maybe even a year after this. Now, next up, I wanted to discuss something that was discovered recently in some new intel for Season 6. References to both Peter McCain and Dr. Gersh from the old Aether storyline were found, and I'm like, hold on a second, right? Craig Houston threw in a bit of a teaser to the old Aether storyline just for the sake of some nostalgia, right? Just for the sake of establishing that this Dark Aether universe does take place after the events of the multiverse collapse in Tagger Toten. So it's like I've been saying for months, right? If Craig Houston is gonna save a big reveal or a big return of a fan favorite character, then it's probably for a good reason. He'll probably do more of that in the next Call of Duty 2023, now that more lore and world building has been established with Cold War and then Vanguard later. But the fact that they threw in a couple of minor references to me makes me excited. But if they reference Peter McCain and Dr. Gersh, who were both orbs after the events of Black Ops 3 and 4, then what about Victis, right? And this is not supposed to stem into a discussion about Chronicles 2 and Victis remakes. Those existed for Black Ops 4. There was clear evidence of that, not only from in-game and the assets, but then from gaming scoopers who were reporting a lot of accurate information about Warzone and Modern Warfare. So those maps existed somewhere down the line, and maybe they'll come out at some point in the future. I'd be down for it, but I'm not going to say that we need those remakes to keep zombies alive. New content will keep zombies alive, and revolutionizing the mode and bringing it to new lengths to attract a new audience is what will keep zombies relevant for as long as we can remember. So I could definitely bet that the big mystery behind what happened to Victis at the end of Tagger Toten will probably be answered in some way or another through intel, an audio recording, or something that I believe Craig will save for the right time. Now, it's unclear if more intel is dropping in Season 6 for zombies specifically. It's totally plausible to do at least one more intel drop to really set us up for Vanguard, establish more lore, but maybe we'll just have to wait until Vanguard comes out to get some new intel from Craig Houston and some more world building that can lead to a potential reveal one day of what happened to our good old transit crew. But last and definitely not least, today we saw the release of the Classic Containment Breach Pro Pack for $20. It does cost real money because it does come with 2,400 COD points as an add-on. So you get 2 for the price of 1. Technically, and I'm saying this very specifically, technically free COD points, right? Because you pay 20 bucks, but get the value of 40 by buying this pack. So if anything, I think packs like these are worth it the most because you'll get more value out of that, and you can then use that 2,400 COD points later for another expensive bundle that gets added to the shop at some point in the future. We have a classic looking Hudson skin from the Rebirth campaign mission of Black Ops 1. Only the OGs remember this from back in the day. Such a great looking bundle here. No traces on the blueprints, unfortunately, but still some cool looking ones. We have a calling card, we have an emblem, we got some extra content in here that's cosmetic, of course, but definitely a nice touch on the item shop for Season 6. The Pro Packs altogether, I think, have been a cool experiment. Aside from the other bundles that come with these COD point challenges to earn COD points back, I've always said this, right? This is the closest we'll probably get to, quote-unquote, $20 worth of free COD points, since, again, you're getting $40 of value just by spending 2020. But take that as you may. I'm not pushing this onto you guys if you don't want to buy this, but figured I'd cover it since it is new as of today. Now that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on the new updates regarding Cold War Zombies? How are you feeling about the new Easter egg that was found for a Perkaholic? And also, how are you feeling about the future of zombies as we know it, right? With round base kind of being moved to the side a little bit to really showcase Outbreak, where do you think it's going to lead Treyarch in the future with COD 2023? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everyone.